execute Order 66.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Craig.
We're human beings, and we like movies.
We'll be doing reviews of brand new releases,
Old classics,
entire sagas,
and even TV shows and video games.
This is Reaction Time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome
To
back
Order 66.
to Order 66. Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do? Don't kill me.
This entire episode is just going to be Sam recreating episode 3.
I will do all of episode 3 from the very, very start.
Explosion. Guess
Log
what,
on to
everybody?
MR2. Oh, what?
We're here.
We're here
in
back
the flesh
in the
again.
flesh. I could reach out and touch you, but I won't. But I could. Welcome to the ultimate Star Wars episode.
Yes. That has ever been made
Yeah,
from
ever.
anybody.
Yeah, this is the one. We're going to be ranking all of the live action Star Wars movies.
All of them. All 45 of them.
All 45 of them.
Yeah.
All 11. And I'm nervous, man. We got some hot takes. We got some cold takes.
Oh, we're going to have some hot takes.
Oh, you got hot takes?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, Craig is coming off strong.
I'm going to have the hottest of the takes.
Rise of Skywalker, number 1. Bingo. And then Solo, number 2.
And then 8.
So, I mean, we're going to spoil Star Wars.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it.
If you haven't seen Star Wars.
Then you're in Craig's boat.
Well,
How many of the 11 movies have you seen?
I've seen all of them other than Solo.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
How many of them have you seen more than once?
All of them?
Even the sequels?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you just went to them
No,
in theaters.
remember I told you I went to theaters and then we rewatched all of them for 7 with our buddy Stickle and Jason.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
they
yeah,
wanted to rewatch them all.
Okay.
Now, like sitting down and watching, like full
focused.
No, I mean I was focused for the most part, but not like a ton.
What Star Wars movie are you the most familiar with?
7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And then probably 3.
Yeah,
Now.
because you saw that the most recently.
Yeah, and then I've been doing a lot of like research and
Craig's a
thingies
Star
on it.
Wars fan. Die hard.
Yeah, it's basically.
Basically a die hard
Hayden
fan.
Christensen's my all-time favorite
Oh
actor.
my gosh, that's so nice. I mean, man, what do we dive into it?
I guess so.
Let's dive into it. We're going to be just going worst to best. So,
Yes.
least favorite to favorite.
Yes.
My worst to best is a different list. Slightly. Because there are some movies that I
three
like.
probably wouldn't be.
3 is a very good Star Wars movie.
It is a very good
We'll
Star
get
Wars
into
movie.
it.
Yeah, we will.
There is a debate. Is it better than Empire Strikes Back? Very hard to compare the two.
Yeah.
Empire Strikes Back is a darn near perfect.
I'd say it has a better
Sequel?
story.
Revenge of the Sith has a better story?
No, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. They're both
okay,
good.
It's less soap opera, I guess. Well, maybe it's not. I
It's
don't know.
not.
I feel like it's more exponential in 3.
The
but that's
whole
probably
thing
because
is
I've
that-
seen it most recently.
Yeah, the whole thing. I mean, Star Wars is literally a space opera. That is
Yeah.
what it's called.
Made for
and
kids.
Made for kids, ish sometimes. George Lucas says it's made for kids, and then he's just whacking limbs off left and right.
Originally made for kids, possibly, probably not really, because even in
I don't know.
even in the first one, he was
the
knocking
first time you
limbs
see a
off.
lightsaber, an arm goes flying, and the blood's just on the ground. He
What kid doesn't like that?
He turned it to
though?
the cold setting so the blood wouldn't like cauterize. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. So, but I mean, the whole story of Star Wars is just like, it's family drama.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
Yeah.
it might as well be Modern Family,
Yeah,
but from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Darth Vader is Phil Dunphy.
I wonder if we didn't have 4, 5, and 6. I feel like 3 would have been better in terms of like the twist, right?
Oh,
everybody
sure.
knows that Anakin's gonna go bad.
That's
But if you didn't know that, that would
That's
have
the
been
thing,
way
like,
crazier.
part of me, when I have kids, wants to really
Well,
do
just go
everything
one-
I can
one
to shield them from
1
the
to
fact.
9.
But how do you let a kid go through their life without hearing once, "Luke, I am your father"?
Well, how long are you going to make him wait to hear?
I mean, when can a kid watch Revenge of the Sith? It's rated PG-13.
Yeah, but
I mean, what 4, 5?
What parent wait to 13 to watch
Too
PG-13?
many. Not mine. Love you, Mom and Dad.
I mean, Holes sometimes is.
When he lights on fire, it's very scary for kids. Everything else is fine.
Yeah.
But I would love.
And then him going and murdering all the kids.
I would love to just lock my kid in the basement for like 9 or 10 years and then show him Star Wars. I won't, but I would love to do that. You know?
Please call CPS. I'm a little scared.
Yeah. Man, I wonder how. I don't know.
I've been locked in here for 9 years.
9 years. Craig is my baby. But anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but you have a good point. The twist would be fun if 4, 5, and 6 hadn't existed when it came out. If they came out in chronological order, it would be a different story.
Yeah.
You know? But I also would have loved to be alive in 1980 and been in the theater when Darth Vader tells Luke he's your father. Nobody believed it. Everybody thought it was a lie.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And that's like
cool.
probably never going to be topped as the best twist of all time.
Yeah, because in 3, they name the kids, don't they? So,
Yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's like you can't see 1 through 3 because then Luke, I am your father just goes away.
Right.
But you can't see 4 and 5 because then 3 just kind of goes away.
Yeah.
Wow. Edit it so that it doesn't say the baby names and you have no idea who they are. Just edit it after he turns evil anyways because...
You have to edit Padme being pregnant out of all of it.
Yeah, because that's dumb. When Padme dies, it's like the worst part of the show anyways. So you just...
Yeah, and her being pregnant is dumb too.
Yeah, you just cut that out.
Just like insert Attack of the Clones Padme throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And then, oh, surprise.
I mean, by the time you have kids and they're a little older, I'm sure there'll be technology to do that.
It's going to be the fan cut.
Yeah.
There's technology to do that now. It would just be really hard. It would take a long time.
It'd be easier later on. It'll be
That's true.
It'll be
I'll
the
just
Snyder
tell AI
cut.
to do so.
It'll be the Snyder cut, but actually good. Oh.
Oh, yeah, word. So there's 11 movies
Okay.
ranging, being released over a 42-year period.
Dang. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's crazy.
The first Star Wars movie is 47 years old as of this month. So, also happy May the 4th to those who celebrate. Woo.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
When this releases.
Yeah. I will be getting ready to go do the hardest thing of my life and watching every Star Wars movie.
Is it Rogue One and
in
Solo?
order. No, I guess not
okay.
those. Just the 9,
Just the 9.
24 hours. I can do it. I'm strong.
I believe in you.
Okay. Craig,
Yes.
what's your least favorite Star Wars movie? What's number 11?
8.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a good take.
Yeah.
8's stupid.
It's so bad.
Why do you hate it?
So, okay.
Oh, sorry. I hate it. Why is it your least favorite? And do you hate it?
I do hate it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I hate it.
I do hate it. Not even being a huge Star Wars fan, I hated everything they did with Luke in that movie.
Oh, it's the most butchered that
so-
maybe any character has ever been.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
I wanted when freaking it was Kylo Ren and Luke and they were facing off, if they had done a battle there, that movie would be like 1,000 times higher.
Yeah.
But as soon as they were just like, nah, actually he's just still on the island being a freaking moody old guy.
Yeah.
And just dies from I don't even what
Do
is
you
he?
know how old Luke is in that movie?
Like 80?
No. He's like in his late 50s.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Makes it even worse.
He's 19 in A New Hope. And then
Right.
from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi is like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
So he's like 23 by the time he kills or Vader dies.
Yeah.
And then the sequels take place 30 years later. So he's 50. He's not even in his late 50s. He's 53 years old.
It makes it even worse.
And he's just like, oh, I'm old and frail. And
Yeah.
now I'm going to disappear into the Force. Bye. And he just fades away. They could have made him so cool.
That could have been so cool.
Like, what if he was just like old, wise, really powerful Jedi?
Why wasn't he?
It began the Disneyfication of cool characters where they're like, oh, the only way to make this story compelling is to take people you love who are very strong and weaken them
Yeah.
and keep them weak.
Make him moody.
Yeah. It's dumb. How
But not
cool
cool
would
like
it have
Mad Eye
been
Moody.
if he was like, You know, they reveal him at the end of 7, which is awesome.
Amazing.
So cool.
And then they literally just took that and they literally just peed on
They
it.
literally throw it away
They
at the beginning of the
literally
next
throw it
movie.
away.
He chucks his lightsaber.
And that's why I think I
and walks
hate
away.
it so much.
Yeah.
I was so like, oh my gosh, I'm kind of into Star Wars now from 7.
They set themselves up for so much success.
Yeah. And then freaking Ryan Johnson just,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's made some good stuff, but what did he do?
That was a nightmare.
It's
It was
trash.
so bad.
He drinks blue milk.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
there's some really cool scenes in that movie. I really like.
It's
I really
a
like
beautiful movie. The ship's on the red.
The light speed through the ship.
Oh,
I
it's
know.
stupid,
I know
but
that's
it's
so
cool.
stupid, but it's
No,
so cool.
you're
looking.
absolutely right.
And then when the stuff hits the ground and it turns red,
Yeah.
the salt or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's some really cool moments in that movie, but it just, dude.
Visually, it's awesome. And it has maybe the best trailer of any of the Star Wars movies ever made. The trailer was like, this movie's going to be so good.
And then it was trash.
And then it was trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate it. The only thing I hate more than what they did to Luke was them bringing Palpatine back, which is why Rise of Skywalker is at the bottom of my list.
Okay.
Personally, what it does is it fully defeats the purpose of the first 6 movies.
Yes.
It cancels them out completely.
Yeah.
Which is really dumb.
Yeah.
You know what all they had to do was, and I'm just going to come up with this off the top of my head. Honestly, I have not even thought about this, really. All they had to do was keep Snoke alive,
Yeah.
right? Find out that Snoke maybe was like, I don't know, somebody else, some other Jedi, or
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
he wasn't. Maybe he just came from nowhere, or maybe Palpatine tried to clone himself and Snoke showed up, and that was as far as he got. And then Luke has to battle Snoke at the end,
Yeah.
and it's like Luke versus Snoke, Rey versus Kylo in the same room, super lit, boom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Yeah.
But you don't have to like bring Palpatine back for people to be interested. You just have to make it cool.
Just gotta make it cool.
And yeah,
I wonder. I think we've talked about this before. I wonder what would have happened. I love J.J. Abrams, but he starts things really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
He has a hard time finishing stuff. I'm curious if he had done 8, if we would have even gotten Palpatine.
oh, I doubt it.
Because I bet if it had been J.J. Abrams, he probably would have just gone with Snoke
Yeah,
through the whole thing. But I think Last Jedi did decent, but compared to Force Awakens, it was nowhere near as good at the box office.
right.
Everybody was hating on it, and they were like, we need something.
Yeah.
Palpatine, you know?
Yeah. It's just weird.
I
Well,
don't know.
and have you ever seen the script from, because Colin Trevorrow was originally supposed to
Right.
do that movie. Have you ever seen like the script or the concept art or
read
anything?
a little bit of it.
Oh, it was going to be cool.
Yeah.
It was going to be really cool. And I don't know what happened except
Did
for
he do
classic.
7?
No.
No?
I don't think so. I don't think he really ended up involved
In
in
any of
anything. But they had a great plan and it was going to be awesome. And then in classic Kathleen Kennedy fashion, I think they just got rid of him.
Yeah, they were like, oh,
Just
this
for
is
fun.
cool.
This is cool, but
I don't want to
Nah.
release it. It's not cool enough.
And then Rey kisses Kylo. She's like, "Oh, you just got off of a 10-year killing spree, and we're kind of cousins. All right, let's make out. So then you can die." The hell?
Can I actually tell you something? For
What?
some reason, that doesn't bother me.
Why?
I thought from the beginning, for some reason, there was always a tension between them.
there was a violent tension.
No, I didn't feel that way. For some reason, for me, when it came, I was like, oh, I totally expected this to happen.
No, I did too because I knew who was making the movie. I knew it was.
It felt like from 7, 8, and 9, it felt like that, like, I hate you, but I love you type of thing.
Okay.
I don't know why. For some reason, and so
I see what you mean.
everybody, that's a super hot take because everybody bashes on that moment. I think it's a dumb moment, but I wasn't like, what the heck?
No, I know. Can I tell you something? I can't tell if I'm proud of it or not. That was the only time I've ever in my entire life audibly booed in a movie theater. But I booed. I had to.
See, I booed
Just
way more at The
so
Last
dumb.
Jedi.
I don't think
than-
I was the only one who booed anyway, so I feel
Yeah.
okay about it. But they just ended it so poorly.
Yeah,
and
it
Rey
was-
saying she's all the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then saying she's a Skywalker. And it's just like,
it was dumb.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
And just introducing so much like force healing. And
Yeah.
They literally retcon the first 6 movies, which is sad because 7 is a pretty good movie.
so good.
And it's very good at both nostalgia capture and also kind of setting things up. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay, there's something new. Snoke is new. Kylo's new. Like there's something cool there. And then it just, they pooped
That's
it
why.
out.
That's why I wonder if it had been J.J. Abrams, how it would have turned out.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he was trying to do damage control from 8,
Yeah.
but also, I mean, either way, it still wasn't good.
No, it wasn't. But I mean, yeah, it was bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he makes this cool villain, and then Ryan Johnson steps up. He's like, "I'm gonna kill him.
I'm gonna kill him. This is dumb.
I'm gonna kill him in the saddest way ever. I'm gonna make him not know that he's about to die, and then I'm gonna easily kill him with the force.
Just turn the
Just turn
lightsaber.
lightsaber. Oh, you see, it turned in. Oh, and he's dead, and his hands are still holding on to the chair. So yeah, bummer. Big bummer.
Okay.
Okay, what's your next worst?
Okay, so these two kind of go hand in hand.
Okay.
I've never seen Solo, so I didn't know where to put it, but I've heard it's bad.
Solo, I don't. So okay, wait. Can I ask you something?
Yes.
So for you, Last Jedi,
Yeah.
Solo, and then what's after that?
9.
Okay, so our bottom 3 are the same.
Okay. Okay. okay.
But in different
So I don't know
orders.
if Solo would be higher than 9 or if 9's higher than
Yeah,
Solo.
so-
I'm putting Solo
in 10th place.
in 10th place,
and then Last Jedi in 9th.
and then
or sorry,
Rise of Skywalker in 9.
ninth. Okay, mine is Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, Solo.
Okay.
So we're kind of on the
Basically
same
the
page.
same. So, but the reason why I'm going to put 9 above 8 and above Solo, even though I haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know Palpatine returning was super dumb, and it what was it? Just Palpatine returned or something?
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Can I say though, he was the most terrifying I've seen Palpatine in any
yeah.
of the movies.
Yeah, he's great.
Like creepy, frightening. He seems more frightening just with what he can do. So I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Even though it's super dumb, but it was like, yo, this is a freaky Palpatine.
For sure. I totally agree.
Yeah.
My only issue too, not my only issue. One of my issues with him returning is he comes back for one movie and literally does not do
He doesn't do anything. No,
he
doesn't
stays
do
in the
anything.
same building on the same planet.
Look, it's
and he
Luke.
like lightnings some ships and then he dies.
It's Luke all over again.
And I'm like, what the heck? Who planned this? It's horrible. So here's what happened with Solo and why why I guess Disney thinks Solo was such an actually bad movie when it really isn't that bad. It's not great. It's a pretty mediocre movie.
Yeah.
But it's not bad because it doesn't ruin anything. You know what I mean? Like whereas these
I
ruin
thought
stuff.
it did like the dice or
No, I mean it's really small. It's small
Okay,
things, right? Where
okay.
they're like it's kind of dumb because they explain where he gets his name from.
Mm-hmm.
Like his name is Han, but he doesn't have a last name, and he's traveling alone. And so the travel officer who's like letting him go on the ship is like, "Okay, Han Solo." It's like, okay, that's kind of stupid, but it's like doesn't ruin Star Wars.
No.
You know what I mean? And what happened was Solo came out 6 months after The Last Jedi came out. And people hated The Last Jedi. And so people were not going to go see Solo.
Yeah.
So it bombed.
It
And they're
bombed
all like,
horribly.
oh, it's because whoever made Solo is such a, like, that's what Kathleen Kennedy said. She was
Right,
like,
right.
oh, it's because we didn't have deep fake and we couldn't get Harrison Ford and we couldn't do this and this and this. So, like, the movie bombed. It was like, no, you made a bad movie and then immediately released another movie.
Yeah.
And was like, why didn't anybody see this movie? Solo is a super unnecessary movie.
Yeah.
Nobody needed a Han Solo backstory.
yeah.
So it's not that bad of a movie, but
It's
it's
a cash
also
grab.
just like it's a cash grab, and it wasn't great, and it had so many problems. It had to be completely redone by Ron Howard, which is why the whole movie is gray.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they shot a ton of stuff because it was Chris Miller and whatever
It was Chris Miller and Phil Lord.
Yeah.
Originally.
Yeah.
And then
they shot a ton of it.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Oh, there's creative differences."
Yeah, which basically
issue
means with them.
with them,
Oh yeah, you're the problem.
fire yourself.
100%.
100%.
Everybody's like, oh yeah, there's creative differences, but it's always Kathleen Kennedy on the other side, which is like, maybe you're the problem.
If it had been Phil Lord and Chris Miller, it would have probably it still probably would have bombed because it's coming after The Last Jedi.
But it could have been awesome.
Everybody would have loved it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, so Ron Howard comes in. They have to reshoot half the movie, so they had to desaturate everything to make it look like the same movie. So that movie is just gray.
Yeah.
It's like almost a black and white movie. So it had its issues, but it's like a fun. It's like
Donald Glover.
It's a fun Western. It's got
be-
Donald Glover.
it's gotta be somewhat
It's
good.
got Paul Bettany, who
Yeah.
I love. It's got Emilia Clarke. It's got a good cast, and Chewbacca.
Yeah.
But anyways, so those are the bottom three.
Yeah.
So here's where
That's
I
actually
think
funny that I mean, I
Yeah.
haven't seen Solo, but I bet if I did, it probably
I think your
would still
take is
be-
fair though.
Yeah.
Because I do think everything that's about to come above it is better. I don't think Rise of Skywalker is better than it.
Yeah.
It's a little more fun because it's a little more Star Wars because
Mm-hmm.
like Rise of Skywalker has like lightsabers and stuff.
That's about it.
Well, can I spoil one thing in Solo for
Okay.
you? Darth Maul does come back. So that's fun. For like 1 second, he's in a hologram. And so it does have one lightsaber
That's sad.
because he's the crime lord at this point.
Oh, okay.
And so he like shows up and he ignites his lightsaber and he's like super old because it's the same actor. It like doesn't match the cartoons, but whatever.
It's not Rogue One awesome where Darth Vader comes back and murders everybody in
No,
the
but that
hallway.
would have been awesome.
Dude.
That would have made that movie a lot of money.
Yeah.
If people had heard that Darth Maul like shows up and kills a bunch of people would have seen that movie so fast. Yeah. All right, so I think this is where we get into the interesting part of Star Wars,
Yeah.
where we talk about, top 8.
Okay.
What's your top 8? So, in 8th place, what do you have?
I have 2.
You have a tie.
I have 2.
Oh, you have 2.
I have 2.
Episode 2.
Episode
I was like,
2.
"Well, you can't do that, but okay.
I have
Episode 2.
episode 2 as 8th place. I think the main reason why is there's less memorable stuff that I remember in all the other ones.
That makes sense.
If it was all fresh, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And especially just more of my knowledge of the prequels now.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some cool stuff into,
Yeah.
but overall decent, but not my favorite.
Yeah. I'll talk about it a little bit more when I get to it.
Yeah.
I guess. But in 8th place, I actually have The Force Awakens.
Okay.
I really honestly do like most of that movie. My biggest issue with it is Rey at the end when she like fights Kylo and beats him
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere. Like she's never heard of the Force and then she has it and then she
she's
wins.
a Palpatine.
It's dumb. No, she's a Skywalker. So that part of it is dumb. And just the fact that Kylo, like at the beginning, stops a laser with the Force, and then he can't beat a random girl. So it's like
It's like the coolest thing in
it's
the
not
world,
cohesive. But the rest of the movie,
Him
I remember
stopping that though,
Oh, it's so cool.
and then
I
just
remember
releases it later.
Yeah,
and
the rest of the movie is pretty freaking fun.
it's just fun.
And it's the first time you see basically perfect CGI in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I remember when the official trailer came out, and you see the X-wings like flying across the water, and the Millennium
And
Falcon
doing the freaking-
flip, and it's like, oh my gosh, we're about to get
Boom.
what Star Wars needs. Because I always kind of said, the originals have kind of the story that you need, and the prequels have, the originals have, some story, but it has like the heart and the grit that you need. And then the prequels have kind of the excitement and some decent CGI, but not great.
Amazing choreography.
And amazing choreography. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to get all of the best of that, and we're going to get it in this movie.
Even if it was just the choreography of the prequels in 7,
Yeah.
it might have been like the best thing ever made.
Yeah. All they really needed to do was make Rey already an established Jedi and get some better choreography, and I'm fine with the rest of that movie.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Like the Falcon chase through the busted Star Destroyer is still one of the best scenes in Star Wars. It's so good.
It's so cool.
It's so cool when they fly up and then they just like fall. It's amazing.
It's so
it's
cool.
so genius. And the rest of that movie is really cool. Killing Han Solo was really bold. But honestly, like I kind of like it, you know?
And it's really good character development for Kylo Ren.
Oh,
That
yeah.
they then throw away at
That
the
they throw
end.
away later, yeah. And it's great because Harrison Ford had been begging to be killed off since episode 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, "Can you just kill my?" Because he's a grumpy guy.
So then they froze him?
He just doesn't want it. Well, that's why they froze him. Is they didn't know if he was going to come back for Empire Strikes Back. Because he was
Okay.
like, he filmed the movie, and everybody who was filming the original Star Wars was kind of like, "This movie's kind of stupid."
Mm-hmm.
Like, it wasn't really working out. The dialogue was so dumb, and
Yeah.
still is.
Yeah, it's
and
pretty bad.
like Alec Guinness, who was a he's a sir. He's knighted by the Queen. He's this very proper British man, famous actor from the 40s and 50s and 60s. And he's like, "Yep, I don't really like this movie very much, but I play a wizard." And that's like kind of what he says about the movie. And so Harrison Ford's like, "Can you just kill me?" And then they didn't think he was coming back, so they froze him.
That's funny.
In the next one, because they were like, "Oh, maybe he won't come back for 6," because he did end up agreeing to come back for 5. But yeah, anyway. So The Force Awakens is mostly good with some issues, but it's so tainted by what comes after it.
yeah.
I think if the rest of the movies were great, The Force Awakens would move up
Yeah.
in my list, you know?
That makes sense.
Because I think they had the ability, the potential to really put themselves up there with the other 2 trilogies and be like, "Oh, I don't know if, these movies are going to be kind of like if they're all going to work together and all be kind of on the same level." So they didn't, but
Yeah.
whatever. That's okay. I'll survive. Okay. What do you got? Number 7.
6. Episode 6.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. What don't you do and don't you like about Return of the Jedi?
To me, it just felt like the worst out of the first 3.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's mainly just because I think it was because it came from after 5. And 5 was so good
Yeah.
that 6 just felt fine
Yeah.
to me, I guess. The addition of the little guys,
The Ewoks.
the Ewoks.
Very controversial.
I still can't decide if I love or hate.
Most people, I don't want to speak for the world, but I think most people are in the camp of it's funny and it's cute, but it's so stupid.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at. But at the same time, it's also funny.
It's, yeah.
You know.
It works for some reason. Maybe it's because of the 80s.
I guess.
Because if that happened today, like, can you imagine if you're watching like Endgame and they're trying to beat Thanos, like Thanos' army, and then just a bunch of teddy bears come out and kill him? Like,
Yeah.
everyone would be super mad about that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, the
For
Ewoks are not great.
The little penguin things in like The Force Awakens, those work 100%. I don't
Yeah.
know why they're super cute. Or are those start in 8?
No, I think you see him in 7.
Porgs.
Well, they're on the island where Luke is, so I think you might see one at the very end, maybe,
Yeah.
but maybe not. Maybe it starts
For
in
some
8.
reason, those things work. I don't know if it's just because they're like
They're hilarious.
they're hilarious
Yeah.
and they're not like stupid.
Yeah.
I guess. So the Ewoks ruin it a little bit. I did have honestly before Vader kind of switching at the end bugged me originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Now being a dad, it doesn't bother me anymore. Now I'm like, oh, okay, that's actually endearing and,
Yeah.
and a good story.
Yeah.
Where before it was just like, dude, he's like evil in the 3rd one, and he's evil in the 4th and the 6th, and then all of a sudden he's just like, oh no, my
It's like,
son.
oh, wait. No, I'm good.
But now
Yeah.
it's like, okay, no, he's actually a dad and
Yeah.
he does care about things. But I just think I like everything else that's coming after better.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. My next up is A New Hope.
Okay.
And the only thing I don't like about A New Hope is that it's boring.
Yeah, and I feel the
That's
same
it.
way about 6 too.
This 6 is interesting. I do feel like the middle of 6 is boring.
It's so
The
boring.
beginning's cool and the end is cool.
And the ending's cool.
But the middle is, it's not strong. I
Yeah.
would just say A New Hope is is a tricky one for me because it feels so disrespectful to like not love it.
I know.
You know? But
You
it's
don't have
also
to love it.
I have to be honest, and I've always felt this way since I was a kid,
Yeah.
right? It's the most, and I grew up with the prequels, which are literally the opposite of A New Hope.
Uh-huh.
Just so fast paced. A New Hope is a good movie, and it obviously set up the most famous franchise of all time, you know, and had great moments, but was just like, it's a 1977 movie. It's way ahead of its time. It's
Yeah.
awesome, but it's boring.
Yeah.
But it's exciting for the time, so it's like cool, you know? So I give it all of the respect that it deserves, but I rarely sit down and watch that movie. Like I've probably sat down and watched A New Hope on purpose 3 times,
Yeah.
like in my life.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it's, you know, it's good. Mark Hamill is interesting because he's not great in that movie. He's not a great actor, but then he just
No.
gets better
Yeah,
as
he
time
does.
goes on. And at the end of Return of the Jedi, I think he's really pretty good. And it helps that he got in a motorcycle accident and his face looks a little more rough and tough.
Yeah, it
you know?
does.
So, okay, what's your number 6?
Yeah.
Number 6 movie.
So that's going to be 4.
Okay.
Yeah. And kind of the same reasons. I put it above 6 because we wouldn't have gotten 6 without it.
Yeah.
And there's so much world building in 4 that is so cool.
Yeah.
You
the
know,
Death Star is such a cool
Death
like
Star's
idea.
Such a cool idea. You think of it now and it's like, really? That you have a little
Yeah.
thing that it can shoot to blow the whole thing up? But there's flaws in everything,
And-
right?
Exactly. And then Rogue One does actually a very, very good job at fixing that.
That's true.
Which I love. Honestly, Rogue One saves 4 all the way.
Yeah.
Because that is a very stupid plot point in 4.
Yeah.
But Rogue One explaining it so well is like, it's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, the end of 4 is exciting. And it's like, it's cool to think about how, you know, nobody knew that this Death Star existed. And then they get closer to it and he's like, that's no moon. So it's cool in that way for sure. I would
But the dialogue
love.
is bad.
The dialogue is bad.
So
And it's
bad.
just Star Wars. So it's like,
It's
what
so
can you
bad.
do? You know, George Lucas wrote it down with his own hands.
Yeah.
One thing that I wish that it could exist somehow, and it can't, and maybe in the future it will. I wish that we could remake movies and keep them the exact same, but somehow change the pacing a little bit and make all of the CGI great. But like, I don't want new actors. I don't want new, you know, dialogue. I want to keep the dialogue. I want
Yeah.
to keep everything the same, but just make it kind of more of a modern paced movie with
Yeah.
feeling more exciting. It would be so fun to see that. You know,
It's almost
And
like
just-
an HD remake of a video game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 Just like, super like remastered, you know?
Yeah.
I just finished playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered.
Nice.
So I used to play that on the GameCube and it's like, I don't know, 120p. And it's fun to see that kind of stuff in such high quality. And so it'd be fun to see that. And I know a lot of people are kind of purists and say, no, never touch them, which is fair. Even though George Lucas did.
But why?
He touched him so much. Why did he fix him?
No. Why
not
I
fix
could-
them?
Yeah. As long as you can keep it the same,
Yeah.
why not fix it?
No,
Obviously,
why
if,
not? For
if,
sure.
You know, George Lucas, when he makes like 8 different versions of the prequels, yeah, that's where it's like, what was your plan
Yeah.
there? But if you could keep it the exact same, but give it the look of
Yeah.
The Force Awakens,
Right, exactly.
Why not?
And keep the original around,
Yeah,
right? I'm not
yeah.
saying replace it, but just make this other version too that you can watch as well if you'd
Yeah.
like to. And maybe have you ever seen the redone Obi-Wan Vader fight from episode 4 that some people did? They spent like 2 or 3 years making it.
I want to say you showed me.
It's awesome. So like maybe throw that in there.
Okay.
You know. And then keep everything else the same. But yeah. It is interesting that in episode 4, Luke Skywalker does not do almost anything with a lightsaber. He does a little bit of training for like 2
Yeah,
seconds.
I guess that's
and then
true.
That's
He
it.
really doesn't.
It's interesting. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber boy. Anyways,
What's your 5 going to be?
my 6 is Phantom Menace.
Oh, I guess you're at 6.
Yeah. My 6 is Phantom Menace. I really like the Phantom Menace. Most of it, though, is pretty boring. The pod race is awesome.
Amazing.
And the final lightsaber fight is
Yeah.
awesome. And everything else is also boring.
Yeah.
It's not bad, honestly. Jar Jar, but
He's fun.
yeah, he's Jar Jar. He's a lot of things. The space politics themselves, if you really have the brain power to sit down and listen to them, they're really good. It's well thought out and it makes sense and it sets up the rest of the movies and it shows who has power and who doesn't and who are all these different factions and all this stuff. But do people want that in a movie? No, they don't. You want to read about that in an extra book if you know about
have
it.
a
You know what I
5-minute
mean?
recap of it.
But when you really, really think about it, you have to know that stuff to figure out how things work to see how does Palpatine get all the power in the entire universe.
Right.
So it's tricky because it's this boring information that you have to know.
Yeah.
So that makes it difficult. But I do really like that movie. But I have fast forwarded it before to get to the end. Because it's not because the rest is so bad, but because the end is so good and I only have so much time in my life, you know. So that's my 6.
Man.
All right,
Okay.
5.
That's going to be Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, literally the exact same thing. Dude, I wanted to do pod racing as a little kid.
Yeah.
And I still do, obviously.
Also, sorry. The introduction, Phantom Menace is the introduction of modern day lightsaber fights and stuff like that. The introduction of droids. We didn't have any droids in Star besides R2 and stuff.
Right.
You didn't have any evil droids until the Phantom Menace. And then you show up in the Phantom Menace, there's battle droids and stuff. And you see those 2 lightsabers come out of the smoke at the beginning and you knew you were in for a treat. And then they talk space politics for an hour and a half. And then you're in for another treat.
My
so,
gosh.
it's-
Darth Maul battle. Oh, man. One of the best.
I love telling this story. It's not a story, it's a fact. And I probably told you this, but people wanted to see the trailer for The Phantom Menace so badly that they purchased tickets, because this is before the internet. They purchased tickets to go see a movie that they knew the trailer would be beforehand. They watched the trailer and then they went home. And so you have these, and I don't know which movies they are, but I'm sure you have some movies with extremely overinflated box offices that nobody's ever seen before.
Probably.
Because they would literally sell out a theater and then there would be 15 people in the theater for the movie.
Yeah.
Which is what an interesting time.
Yeah.
You know?
That's just the power of it, dude.
It's fun because I was looking at, so Phantom Menace is releasing in theaters this weekend for the 25th anniversary. And I saw a lot of comments and people are like, I'm going to go get a Pizza Hut pizza and an ice cold Pepsi and just take myself all the way back to 1999. And I'm like, that sounds so good. Honestly, I might do that too.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so, okay. Okay, so my 5 spot, I've got Rogue One.
Hey,
That's your 4?
never mind.
Oh, Rogue One's my 5. And we're into movies now where I don't have complaints about. Really. I mean, there's obviously complaints about every movie.
Wait, no, we're at 4.
I'm at 5. You just said your 5, and now I'm saying my 5.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll go to your 4.
I'm sorry. I'm backwards.
It's okay. I'm frontwards. Hi, backwards.
I'm gonna
I'm
go.
dad. Okay, Rogue One is awesome. It's a freaking war movie. It's a Star Wars war movie, which is kind of just what we wanted.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah, of course.
And it fixes. It's not a plot hole. It's just a stupid detail from 4 with the tiny little hole in the Death Star. And if you shoot a laser bolt just right that goes, then you're good, which it doesn't make any sense. But Rogue One is a fantastic movie. It's got perfect acting. I find so little fault in the acting in Rogue One. It's great characters. Everybody's new except for Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm pretty sure everybody's new. It's got a great Darth Vader scene. It's probably the only truly, truly great Darth Vader scene that we've had in Star Wars movies. You know,
in movies, yeah.
Yeah, in movies.
Yeah,
There's been
yeah,
other great
yeah.
stuff, you know, but in movies, I mean, his lightsaber fight against Luke is cool for its own reasons in Return of the Jedi, but it's not, oh my gosh, it's Darth Vader, I'm terrified, which is what it's always kind of supposed to have been.
Rogue One makes you terrified of
and
Darth
it's
Vader.
so good.
It's so
It's
good.
so good. And they just, it's They introduce a hilarious droid.
Uh-huh.
You know, K2SO is just so funny and great. So, yeah, Rogue One's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Okay,
That'll be my 4.
that's your 4.
Is Rogue One.
Okay.
The other thing that I wanted to add is I didn't know if they were going to just kill everybody in the end, but they totally did, which
is awesome.
is awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing that slightly, and I didn't dock anything from it, but at the same time, it was so like, oh crap. But there was a theory on it that Film Theory, Matt Pat did, that they weren't going to kill everybody at the end. Those, how many was there? Was there 6 people? The like little group.
The Rogue One?
In Rogue One, yeah.
Like the Rogue One? Like
Yeah,
the
like, yeah.
group
How
of
many-
people?
how many people
I don't
are
know
there?
how many there are. I've never counted.
Yeah, I think there was, I don't remember it. Anyways,
6 sounds right-ish.
I think there were
though.
6.
Yeah.
The thought process that he had was Disney was going to, at the end, instead of them all dying, they were going to get taken over and they were going to become the Knights of Ren for the new ones. And it was going to be, you have to watch it because he like explains
That's
it all.
really interesting.
And there's actually like pictures of like the Knights of Ren and they kind of match up really well with like Rogue One and stuff. And I was like, dang, I kind of wanted that.
That could have been cool, but why would they have turned evil?
Like they were going to control him.
Oh.
And so because they were like,
Dude, that would have been kind of cool.
yeah, because they're like, they're not just going to introduce a whole bunch of new actors and then just kill them all,
Yeah.
which they did.
Yeah.
They were thinking they were going to bring them back as the Knights of Ren. And I was like, oh, that would have been so cool.
That would have been actually kind of awesome.
Yeah.
The Knights of Ren is the most wasted.
It's so dumb.
There's one shot of them looking out over a desert and everything, and that's it. And I'm like, oh no.
and then they all just die.
And then they all just die. Okay, so my 4, which this is probably a hot take, and it's not. Just keep in mind this is about favorite and least favorite, not worst and best. My 4 is Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
I will fully admit that as far as good movies, good Star Wars movies go, Empire Strikes Back is a top 2 movie.
Yeah.
It's so good in so many ways, and it's one thing I love about Empire Strikes Back is that the bad guys win at the end. It's the original Infinity War. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where it ends and you're like, holy cow.
Yeah.
You know? Because and I'm not super familiar with film before, 1980. But I think it's so rare that the bad guys were winning,
Even
And
nowadays, it's still
even now,
rare.
yeah. And so I think it probably took a lot of people, caught people off guard.
Yeah.
And it's like makes you nervous and you're
Yeah.
like, is Darth Vader Luke's father, We know obviously that
It's a crazy cliffhanger of a
but
movie.
that is, I just think that if I was alive in 1980, that would have been such like a pinnacle of my
Yeah.
life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just something that's so crazy to experience. It would have been like Infinity War.
Yeah.
Because everybody dies and the movie ends and you're like, excuse me, what? So I love Empire Strikes Back. It does, again, I think it has probably less boring stuff than Return of the Jedi does, actually. I think Empire Strikes Back has a little bit of better pacing and a better story. But I think it's more of, it's fourth on my list just because of my own personal nostalgia with it is not quite as high. So I really like it as a movie, but I don't come back to it very often. Yeah.
Okay. That's going to be my 3
That's your 3?
is 5.
Great.
Yeah.
Your 3 is 5.
My 3 is 5.
What do you like about 3? Or hate about it?
What do you mean
Or about 5?
About 5.
About 5.
My 3 is 3 and a 5.
5 and 3 is 5.
I mean, kind of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy cool twist. Darth Vader is just, he's the most iconic. Darth Vader, and then it's like Voldemort, basically below that.
Yeah.
I would say in terms of, you could say Thanos, but not as much, you know, and especially because he was only kind of towards the end that it was really like a enemy type of thing.
Yeah.
But when you think of like the top villains, Darth Vader's number one. I would say pretty much anywhere. And then
Yeah,
Voldemort's like a close second because everybody loves Harry Potter,
I agree.
you know? So,
But Voldemort is, well, I would say arguably Voldemort is a far worse villain. Because
yeah, he gets taken over by a bunch of teenagers.
he kind of just sucks at
yeah,
everything he does.
he kind of is the worst.
Yeah, but he's still cool. You know what I mean?
no,
And
he's
that's
great.
what's important.
He's a cool villain.
yeah,
But
yeah.
he's kind of the, anyways.
It's so interesting that Darth Vader was able to be such a, because I mean, when you know, my dad tells me about it, or I hear people talk about it from when they were kids, Darth Vader was like terrifying, right? And now, I mean, Darth Vader's not scary
No.
to anybody,
Yeah.
you know? And if it came out these days, he still wouldn't be scary, but people are like so scared of Darth Vader. And it's interesting that he had such a presence without doing much in
yeah.
the movies,
Yeah.
right? He kind of lightsaber fights Obi-Wan Kenobi and kills him, but he's
Yeah.
not like crazy or
No,
anything.
it's
He's not
nothing
like
crazy
super
happens.
powerful or anything. You know, in Empire Strikes Back, the whole lightsaber fight, he's just toying with Luke.
Yeah.
You know, so he doesn't do a ton, but it's just the design of him and the voice and all of that is so
That's what I would
powerful.
say. The voice and the breathing.
Yeah.
That is what makes him crazy. Because
Yeah.
you think of Jaws, take the music out of Jaws, movie's fine.
Yeah.
You have the music in Jaws and it makes it insanely good.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. The voice and the breathing, I think just like created that fear. It's not what anything that he did. It's because design's cool.
Yeah.
And what's behind the mask? You know, anybody with like a mask is always more
Oh, exactly.
terrifying,
Yeah.
You know.
Have you ever seen footage of the original guy? Like there's footage of them filming the scene, but it's not dubbed over, so it's just the guy in the suit.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
So
It's
like,
so funny. He's Scottish.
Yeah.
He's this white Scottish guy. He has like kind of an accent, and his voice isn't very
It's
deep.
so high.
And it's so funny. It just sounds like a normal person.
I have seen
And
those.
it's so unterrifying.
Yeah.
And the difference between that and James Earl Jones is incredible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. My 3. Did you just do your 3?
Yeah.
Okay. My 3 is Return of the Jedi.
Ha! I guessed it.
And Return of the Jedi for me really comes down to two things. One is when I was a kid, I thought Luke Skywalker getting a green lightsaber was so cool. And I know that sounds like a really stupid reason, and it kind of is. But you hadn't seen a green lightsaber
You hadn't
before.
seen a green lightsaber.
And, you know, I saw that movie before I saw the prequels, I think. I mean, I was 3, but still. But I was always like, oh, man, he's got a green lightsaber. And he, like, looks like he knows how to use it, too,
yeah.
which is kind of cool. So 6, when it has like fast-paced stuff, it's very good.
Yeah.
So the beginning is really cool with the Rancor with Jabba's palace and him falling down there, and then them being on the barge. They're about to be thrown into the mouth of the Sarlacc.
yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen?
That's right.
And then he's like, R2, chuck me my lightsaber.
Uh-huh.
He walks the plank and he does like Olympic swimmer dive, jump, and he gets his lightsaber and they start killing people.
Yeah.
It's great. Han Solo can't see. Actually, that's not at the beginning of the movie. That's later. But actually, it's kind of beginning. So that's really cool when they get to the moon of Endor. And then there's like just a bunch of random stuff in the middle of that movie. But when they get to Boba Fett's so cool.
Yeah.
When they get to the moon of Endor, when they have the speeder chase through the forest,
Oh yeah.
that's so cool. And
That's
it's
really
so well done.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
super, super well done. I always thought that was incredible as a kid. The sound design of that is so good. The Scout Troopers, it's one of my favorite designs of stormtroopers, right? So good. So I just thought all of that was cool. And then the final fight with Luke and Vader is for more emotional reasons than actual physical reasons is so good.
yeah.
It's so good. And it's cool because Dave Filoni, who's created a lot of recent Star Wars, talks about this. And he's like, what's cool about that is Luke Skywalker turning to the dark side is on the table, right? He actually could turn. He's wearing all black the whole movie. He force choked some people at the beginning and you're like, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, oh, what's going to happen? And the fact that he fights Vader and all this stuff and then he cuts Vader's hand off and he sees the mechanical wiring underneath, and then he looks at his own hand and he's like, if I go down this path, I'm going to end up the same as this guy.
Yeah.
It's so good.
That's cool.
It's so well written.
Yeah.
And then chucking Palpatine down the giant hole is awesome. It's great.
It's pretty great.
So I think there's so much good about Return of the Jedi with some weird pacing issues and Ewoks, but everything else I think is honestly pretty good. So,
Can I tell you the best thing about 6? Star Wars Battlefront.
dude, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Recreating all of that in Battlefront. Oh,
It's so fun.
dude.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So, and I'm also when Luke goes up into the tower. Also, it's a trap.
Yeah, it's a
That's
trap.
6,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When Luke is arrested, or he turns himself in, and Vader walks him in, and Vader's got his lightsaber, and he's like, "You've constructed a new lightsaber," and he's like, "You're gonna join me," or whatever, and Luke is like, or what does Vader say? He's like, "You see, you've accepted such and such," and he's like, "I've accepted that your name was once Anakin Skywalker," and he's like, "That name doesn't have any meaning to me." And he's just like, he's kind of. I don't think he's toying with Vader, but he's really trying to like bring Anakin out of him. And then he's standing up there and he's like, "I'm a Jedi like my father before me." And it's like, oh, this guy's like, it's just cool. It's very cool. And so I think that emotionally they did that, the end of that movie really, really well.
Yeah.
And then him taking his helmet all the way off and like seeing him is really cool. What I love that people have pieced together now is that in Star Wars Rebels, Ahsoka fights Vader, and Ahsoka was Anakin's apprentice, and she cuts off the right half of his mask. And then in Obi-Wan Kenobi, Obi-Wan cuts off the left half of his mask. And then finally in Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker finally gets his mask all the way off. So it's like these 3 important people to him are able to like get his helmet all the way off and
cool.
finally let Anakin Skywalker reemerge. And it's like, I don't know if that was intentional,
Yeah.
but it's really awesome.
That's really cool.
I think Return of the Jedi is very good with its flaws. Okay, Craig,
Yeah.
second favorite Star Wars movie.
Okay, so we did this in our Harry Potter one.
Oh,
Because
okay.
if you say the second favorite and you kind of, can figure out all the other ones, then you know what the number 1 is.
You're right. You're right.
Do you want to do it again?
I'm
We
fine
do the
either
number
way.
1 or
I'm fine either way. I can't even, honestly, for me, I can't even remember what you have. Actually, yeah, I can't even remember what you have left. So, oh wait, I know what you have left,
yeah.
and I think I know what, I think I
too.
know what your answers
Well, I know
are.
what your answers are too.
Okay, let me guess. How about we guess each other's?
Okay.
Okay, so your top 2 in this order: favorite and then second favorite. Force Awakens, Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
Yes.
Yours is Revenge of the Sith and Attack on the Clones.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so what's I guess talk to me about
Okay.
your top 2.
So I know 7 being my number 1 is a super hot take, but
It is if you're a big Star Wars
Exactly.
fan. Yeah.
I'm not. So for me, I love it because it's a fun movie.
It is.
I get it. It's a recreation of 4. Do I care though?
Yeah.
Why does that matter?
No. It doesn't.
Why
It doesn't.
fix
If
what
anything,
why fix what isn't broken? 4
Right.
was great.
if anything, it's better because of that.
If
Because
anything,
it
it is
does
the
what I
HD
was talking.
remake, yeah.
Exactly. Was what I was talking about. Is
Yeah.
that it's 4, but it's more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With its flaws.
With its.
I know
flaws.
it's got its flaws. I don't care that Rey can be Kylo Ren for whatever reason. She seems to know well with her bow staffs and stuff. So cool. I
Sure,
don't
that's
know
fair.
why she can just really
That's a
use
fair take.
Yeah.
Why
I mean,
can't
'cause
she use the
she's-
Force? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know anything about that. She's a Palpatine, right?
Yeah.
So or Skywalker or all the Jedi. She's everyone. She is Boba Fett. She's Jar Jar.
Oh my god. I gotta go. Rey Skywalker is Jar Jar Binks. I gotta go tell somebody.
So for me, it's the most fun, and it might also be. So my story was 7. Okay, so I didn't grow up on Star Wars. My wife kind of grew up on Star Wars. Her dad really liked Star
Okay.
Wars, so she watched them, but she never really cared for them.
Okay.
Wasn't her thing. Okay. So 7 comes out, and Lindsay's cousins are like, oh my gosh, we should go see it together. And Lindsay's like, crap. And I'm like, okay, you know, because again, I didn't really care for the prequels at the time.
Yeah.
I had
Nobody did. People hated the prequels
I know.
at the time.
I had no ties to the fourth, to the original 3 at all. So I was like, okay, this could be fun, you know, whatever. And Lindsay's like, it's going to suck. I hate everything, but okay, we'll go see it.
Yeah.
It starts, the music starts blaring, you know, and it's like, yeah, I totally forgot about this music.
And people are probably cheering.
100%.
I would imagine.
Yeah, people are cheering. So before the movie had started, our friends Stickle and Jason had been like, hey, we want to go see episode 7 because we had watched it with them. They're like, we should go see it. And they wanted to go see it the same day as when our cousins wanted to go, just at a later time. And so we're like,
See it twice?
the same day. We saw it twice.
What?
So we're like, how do we say no? Okay, yeah, we'll go with you. So we saw it with her cousins, and it ends, and we're both like, oh my gosh, that was so good. Like, even Lindsay's like, that was a great movie. Like, I'm totally okay to go see it again. And so then we went and watched it with our friends, and we saw it again. So I don't know if it's partially just like the experience was like, yo, this is Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is what I imagine Star Wars to be, because I don't have anything with the lore. To me, it's hard when people are like, that's not Star Wars because the rules don't match. Okay, who doesn't like Harry Potter? Can you tell me any rules in Harry Potter?
It's fair.
There's no rules in Harry Potter.
True.
They just make
That's
chairs
true.
out of nothing. They make water out of nothing. They can do whatever the crap they want. I get that they explain some things, but it's just like, you can just make up spells. Okay, cool. Like, can't you just make whatever spell that you would want? Anyways, there's no rules, and nobody really questions it. It's just kind of like, Harry Potter's a fun movie. So to me, it feels like people in Star Wars, it's just like way over the top.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that doesn't follow the original thing of this.
Yeah.
And it's like, does it matter? Did he set guidelines at the beginning?
I think what happens with that is what upsets people is when they change the rules and it ruins other things that have happened already. So like with the Force healing, when you do that, it's like, okay, why didn't Obi-Wan save Qui-Gon Jinn then? Right. Where this completely unexperienced Jedi can save this guy. Yeah. And then Obi-Wan, who's been a Jedi since he was a baby, can't heal Qui-Gon when Qui-Gon's the master that Anakin needs. It's like, hey, that's stupid, right?
And that makes sense.
It's more stuff like that.
But 7 doesn't do that.
No, it
She's
doesn't.
just really good at the Force.
Yeah, but
for no reason.
Yep. I see what you're saying because I'm about to just yell at you. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, but it's like, well, why do people train in the Force then? Why did Kylo train?
But she's not incredible at it.
No, but she beats the guy who's been training his whole life.
I understand that, but she also knows.
Who's literally the grandson of Darth Vader.
She's the granddaughter of Palpatine.
His clone. Okay, thank you very much. They're not blood related, really. But yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Star Wars, it's a cutthroat fan base.
But she was a very good fighter.
Yeah, no, that's true.
So I don't think her Force was over the top in comparison to his, but she might have been a better fighter than he was.
Yeah. She's better with a bow staff than she is with a lightsaber, though.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know.
Either way.
Fair.
Besides all of that. So yeah, it was a blast.
Your take is accepted.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. I don't think it's too hot of a take.
No. It's a very hot take if people like Star Wars. If they don't, then it's not at all.
Yeah.
So 3, reverse. Basically, I mean, when did we do Revenge of the Sith?
It was a year ago.
It was a year ago because we did it for May the 4th, right? Reverse a year, and 3 would probably be like maybe 7th.
Oh, kind of middle of the pack, bottom middle.
Pack,
okay.
Bottom, yeah, don't really care for.
Yeah.
But our episode, even before episode, it still wouldn't have been much higher. But I was like, oh, okay, that was fun. But then you talking about it and then me like watching things on it, because all of a sudden my YouTube was filled of like the choreography of the battles of everything. And I was like, okay, mad respect. They put the time, they put the effort, they made it really cool. Yeah, is it super over the top? 100%.
Oh, so much. It's beautiful.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so much soap opera. Cut out basically anybody talking in that movie and just create the movie. And it's probably my number one thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so fun.
But then like watching and then rewatching after I'd like kind of done some research, I went back and rewatched Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like...
Just from 3? Just their fight? Yeah.
And it's just like...
It's incredible.
It's amazing.
It may never be topped.
It probably won't.
As a one-on-one fight.
And for them to create that that long and actually like knowing what they're doing, it's cool.
It's so cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
So
it's special, man. It's so special. So Attack of the Clones being my number 2. Attack of the Clones is, I would say it's definitely the second most exciting movie, I think, like just in terms of pacing.
Yeah.
The beginning's a little slow, and I understand that there's a love story there, but then there's the freaking Jango Fett, and Jango Fett versus Obi-Wan is so fun, just in the rain and all that. And then there's...
And that's the where they're like in the sand, and they've got some on the towers.
That's later.
That's later, but that's...
But yeah, and that's the
in
same
that
movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So...
Which is so great, too.
Oh, yeah. And so you get Obi-Wan fighting Jango Fett in the rain, and then he tracks him through the asteroid field, and then Jango Fett starts dropping seismic charges, which is still the greatest sound in Star Wars. Just like, it's so awesome.
That's cool.
So you get that. That's exciting. And then, they get captured. Natalie Portman is just really hot in this movie. There's no dancing around that. She's just a very attractive woman in this movie. Props to the costume designers. And then you get so many Jedi. And I think I might have more fondness for this movie than I do for Revenge of the Sith, because this was kind of my first memories of Star Wars, because I was 6.
Right.
I had just turned 6 when this was coming out. So I remember the trailers. I remember the stores being full of Star Wars merchandise. I remember the Go-Gurts. All the Go-Gurts had little glow-in-the-dark lightsabers on them, and I had a few of those.
I forgot about those.
Like, here's the thing. This is what movies like this do. I don't know if that does it to a lot of people, but to me, I have such a vivid memory of having a glow-in-the-dark Go-Gurt with a lightsaber on it while we were hiding from a tornado in the dark. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's a lot of little things like that are just, it's in my psyche now.
I totally forgot about that.
But the clones showing up and all the Jedi in that arena. And then you have the lightsaber fight against Count Dooku. And then you have Dooku versus Yoda. And
that's when
gets
Yoda's
his arm
like
chopped
super
off.
cool.
And Yoda's like way over the top. And why did you walk with a cane?
I know, right?
You're not fooling anybody now. Everybody, the jig's up, Yoda. We know that you're an acrobat, okay? And I just remember going home from that movie and just bouncing off the walls, because I was like, I'm Yoda now.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
There's no stopping me.
No, there is.
So
you need a cane.
Exactly. So I think it's really good. Anakin's like slaughtering the Tusken Raiders and getting all angry about it's.
Somebody talks about sand.
There's just so much. The sand thing is, people hate it.
I know you've
they
talked to me about it.
They don't get it.
Yeah.
But
that is in 2, right?
It is in 2. Let me just walk you through it really quickly, and then you tell me if it's stupid.
It's still funny.
It's funny because people made it funny. But okay, you have Anakin, who was a slave.
Yeah.
Grew up on Sand Planet.
Yeah.
Sand in places he didn't know he had. He's a slave. Standing next to beautiful royalty girl who's never had an inconvenience in her life. Okay, except for that they tried to kill her just 30 minutes ago. And so they're standing there, and she's like, oh, I used to love, like, when I was a kid, going out to the beach and laying on the sand under the sun and all this stuff. And he goes, I don't like sand. It's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere and it's just the worst,
Yeah.
right? When you really pay attention to the scene, it's like, oh my gosh, she has this great experience with sand because her life was easy.
Yeah.
He has this horrible tie to sand because his life sucked. And everyone's like, he's like, I hate sand. I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm bad at flirting. And it's like, they're connecting on an emotional level, folks.
I think it's just the dialogue of like, and it gets everywhere. But just for some reason, that part is the part that's like funny to me.
Yeah, but I've said the same thing
I know.
outside of that because I hate sand. I do. I hate it so much. It gets everywhere. You
I
can't
know.
wash it off. No matter how free the showers outside of the beach are, you cannot get the
No,
sand
you
off.
can't.
So I'm just saying, people, cut him some slack.
I get it, but it's still funny.
It is. I mean, it's memed, so it has to be funny. But I mean, the only thing that's
Bully Maguire, like those scenes aren't that bad, but at the same time they're hilarious.
you want forgiveness? Get religion. I'm gonna rub
put
some dirt in your eye. I'm gonna put
You're gonna rub some sand in your eye.
Uh-huh. And so anyway,
have they made that? Have they made that scene with him saying it's rough and it gets everywhere, and then Bully
I don't
Maguire
think so.
comes
But
and he's
have
like,
you
"I'm
seen
gonna
Bully
rub
Maguire versus Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Yes, I
Okay,
have.
good. Yeah. So
They
the
should
only
make that.
thing about Attack of the Clones that's kind of unclear, but also honestly, it makes sense, is why do Padme and Anakin fall in love? They don't really explain that, but at the same time, arguably they're both very hot. They're young. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. They're hot. They are young.
Hayden Christensen.
He's bad. He's bad boy.
Yeah, he bad boy.
He's a bad boy. And she's her.
Bad
She's
boy.
hot. He's not allowed to fall in love, which makes
No.
it even better.
Right.
So it makes sense. But it's also like, why? Okay.
It's the thing that, to me, if she hadn't have died, they totally wouldn't have made it together in the end.
No.
But like, it's that like,
It's the forbidden
rebellious,
love
yeah.
of every freaking
Yeah.
story in mythological history.
they're Adam and Eve.
I don't know about that. Okay. So anyways, Attack of the Clones is really awesome and I like it.
Yeah.
A lot. And then Revenge of the Sith. I'm not going to go on too much about it. If you want to know my thoughts on Revenge of the Sith, scroll down to episode probably
Something.
20 something.
Yeah.
We reviewed Revenge of the Sith a year ago. And
It's probably like in the teens.
maybe.
Because you think it's like 52 episodes back in a way.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Revenge of the Sith, very special movie to me. I think it's a very good movie. One thing that's cool about Revenge of the Sith is that I think most people admit that it's a good movie. Even though
It's the best of the prequels.
it's definitely the best of the
Everybody's-
prequels. I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
No.
There's very few that would. The choreography is so good. The CGI, almost all of it still holds up pretty well. Best opening scene of any Star Wars movie by far.
Yeah. Super good.
So it's a very, very exciting movie. Overall, I think has pretty good acting, especially Ewan McGregor. The scene at the end with him is top notch. It's just there's a lot of very, very good stuff about Revenge of the Sith. So go listen to that episode if you want my full thoughts.
Yeah.
But I freaking love it. So that's our list.
Yeah.
We didn't have a single movie in the same position.
And I don't think we had that in Harry Potter either.
We didn't?
No, I think some were really close to each other, but
Interesting.
none were in the same
Yeah, because we
spot.
had like the same. On this, we had the same bottom three. We had like the same like 4, 5, and 6 or something like that. But
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Some
Very
were like
interesting.
just one off
Yeah.
from each other.
Let's see. What is Star Wars' total box office?
Do you want to guess it? Or did you already see it?
No, we can guess it. I've not seen it. I don't even know if I'll be able to. Let's see. There's 11 movies. I'm gonna say the average. Actually, I'm not gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you my number. Hold on. Give us just a second, folks. We're calculating in our brains. Okay, I have my number.
Oh, dear God. Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll go first.
Oh, is this okay?
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 8.1 billion.
19 billion.
19 billion?
Yeah.
You think every movie averaged almost $2 billion?
No.
Okay.
Averaging 2 would be 22.
Yeah, 19 is just under that.
Yeah, but you had Force Awakens, which was like 2 point something.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, freak.
And Last Jedi was like 1.6.
Okay.
I have a second guess
Okay.
of 17.2.
Okay. Let's see. Can I find an accurate number? The first number that's popping up is over 10 billion, which is not helpful.
Oh, see, I think mine's going to be too high because of the old movies.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
adjusted, possibly.
Oh, adjusted for inflation, definitely 19.
I don't know if I'm going to even be able to find it. Budget 8.5 million. Oh, that's the Clone Wars. I was like, what? Also, Solo, dude, was so expensive. I think it ended up costing him like $430 million to make. It was
rough.
like a really bad. Their budget was like 275,
Dang.
and they ended up going way over. Can I find it? It might take a second, but I think over 10 billion looks like the number. What did I say? 8.1? Let's see.
I thought you said
Totals.
18.
Oh, here we go. Worldwide box office totals for 1, 2, 3.
You said
4,
8? I
5,
thought you said 18.
No, 8.1.
Oh. Oh, no, that's...
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so this is 12 of the movies because they're including the Clone Wars movie, which only grossed $68 million. So we'll subtract that. The total number is 10 billion. So if I subtract that, 10,280,000
okay.
or 280 million.
Oh, I want to know what adjusted for inflation. Because that's almost what I was thinking.
I would
in my head.
love to know that. I'm clicking away. Huh. Lifetime adjusted gross box office. So Star Wars, the original Star Wars is the second highest grossing movie of all time, just after Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, I know.
Adjusted for inflation is 1.6 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be curious. This is 2019 ticket price. Can I know 2024 ticket price? Nope. There's no data available. Oh, they only have data available up to 2019.
Because I bet mine would be pretty close then.
Should we add them up?
I don't have anything to add on.
I can be really fast.
Okay.
But you have to talk or people are going to get really bored and leave. Don't do it.
I was just about to start talking, and then you told me not to. And now I'm just going to sit here awkwardly and not talk, or sit there and say that I'm not going to talk while I keep talking so that it doesn't seem like I'm not talking, but we actually have talking so that it seems like something's happening so then people aren't bored.
Do you think people are sitting in their seats right now just like on the edge of their seats?
On the edge. They're just like, they're like me, and they're like, am I right?
Dude, it's crazy how many Star Wars movies are in like the top 50. I think they're all in the top 50.
I would, honestly, other than Solo.
Oh, yeah, Solo is not going to be in the top 50.
Is Rogue One in the top 50?
I don't know how much Rogue One made, actually. Okay.
545
The Last Jedi.
billion.
The Last Jedi didn't do very good.
It didn't?
It says adjusted. Oh, is this going to be domestic?
Yeah, dude, it was like 1 point.
Oh, it's all domestic.
Ugh,
I don't want domestic.
gross.
Okay, well, the estimated number of tickets sold for the original Star Wars is 178 million.
That's insane.
That is crazy. To put that into perspective, Endgame, 95 million.
Yeah. 178 million. This is literally almost double.
That's insane.
Isn't that crazy? Which means Endgame would have done $5.58 billion if it
Jeez.
did the same amount of tickets as Star Wars.
Well, I'm not going to do the math anymore
Yeah.
because it's all arbitrary.
I was probably right.
You're probably right,
Yeah.
actually. I'm going to find it and do the math and report next time.
Okay. I think you can only find domestic adjusted for inflation.
That's lame, but I guess it makes sense. Nobody's going to adjust the inflation from Japan and Lithuania.
But the tickets, the ticket number that you found, is that just domestic?
It doesn't say. It just says estimated because it says adjusted lifetime gross, and then estimated number of tickets and then
Because
year.
that 1.6 billion might just be domestic.
It has to be
Yeah, that's
because
crazy.
everything else looks like it is.
Yeah.
Because this is on Box Office Mojo. I wonder if I can find worldwide, but I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Star Wars
Star Wars.
worldwide.
Force.
Worldwide.
The Force is avenging the Sis.
You guys, this weekend I'm going to the movie theater
And watch every
at
single
8:20
Star Wars.
p.m. and I'm watching all 9 episodic Star Wars films in a row, and I'm scared.
I want you to take your list with you, watch them, and then see if it changes at all.
That's a good idea.
Like 9 might be your number 1.
No.
You're gonna watch that Kiss, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, it's
No,
so amazing!"
no way. Okay, so here we go.
Oh,
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
O'Reilly's?
This is gonna be it.
auto
Okay.
parts.
So adjusted for inflation,
Ow.
episode 4, $2.8 billion. That is insane.
Insane.
2.865.
Okay,
Okay,
episode 5.
episode 7, 2.173.
Dang.
Here's the thing with episode 4. It sold twice as many tickets as episode 5 because people literally were watching that movie and then getting back in line to buy tickets.
Yeah.
And I don't think they did that for 5. I think like people obviously did it, but I don't think that was like the norm.
Well, it's like the first Avatar. It was the new thing
Yeah.
that blew everybody away.
Yeah. Guess what the next one is?
5.
Episode 1.
Oh,
Because everybody thought it was going to be incredible and a lot of people were let down. I think a lot of people were fine with it, but a lot of people were let down.
that's crazy.
Then
that-
it's 5.
That's crazy that 7 is still number 2.
So 7's 2.1 billion. 1 and 5 are both 1.7 billion. 1 beats
Dang.
it by just a tad.
Dang.
Then episode 8,
Yeah.
1.3 billion. Episode 6, 1.3 billion. Just a little bit less. Episode 3, 1.1.
Okay.
Rogue One, 1 billion.
Oh, okay.
Did Rogue One hit $1 billion?
No.
Sad. It should have,
There's no way. I think it was like 7 something. But I'm not sure.
maybe.
Could have been.
Attack of the Clones, 1 billion exactly. They have it listed at 1.000 billion, which is really funny. And then Solo, 392. Oh, and this list does not have Rise of Skywalker. So this must have come out after The Last Jedi.
So what's Rise of Skywalker's?
Let's see.
I think that hit $1 billion.
And this would be according to those ticket prices anyway.
Yeah.
So I can just look up the actual box office.
Yeah. I think it's like just over $1 billion.
Yeah, 1.07 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to find out how Craig did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh. The 392 was in there as a whole number because it just gives me 2.865, right?
Oh.
And so I was like, $400 billion. Something's not adding up. Okay, with everything accurate, 15.9 billion.
Oh, okay.
So you were pretty close.
Yeah.
With your second guess.
Yeah.
And your first guess.
And my
was
first
okay.
guess, I still would have beaten you on the first guess.
You would have if
Yeah.
we were doing it that way, but
Yeah.
we weren't, so I won.
Dang, for some reason I thought it was higher.
But 15 billion
15
off
billion
of that.
off of 11
it's
movies.
not bad, dude.
It's pretty crazy.
Not bad. Averaging over $1 billion is pretty decent.
You're doing all right,
You're
I
doing
guess.
okay.
Yeah.
You're doing okay. Yeah, they all made a ton of money for their time, except for Solo.
Yeah.
Everything else did. All right. You got anything else to say about Star Wars, Craig? Man, I could keep talking about just shows and stuff, but I don't even know how far into this. I think we're over an hour or so.
Definitely.
I'll make another one sometime.
I'd say go see it in theaters.
Are you going to be going to see Phantom Menace this weekend?
No.
You're not going to get like a Pepsi and a
No, because
Pizza
Pepsi's
Hut.
disgusting.
I know, but it's $19.99.
I didn't like Pepsi in 1999.
Why did people drink Pepsi in the 90s and then start drinking Coke?
Because Coke was always better. Pepsi just had better marketing.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Coke got a polar bear and Santa Claus, and then people
Yeah.
were like, forget Pepsi.
Of course.
Also, I think I don't have one of those whip out lightsabers, which is kind of a shame.
Yeah, what the heck?
I used to have a ton of those when I was a kid.
Dude, you
I don't have
suck.
anymore. I only have lightsabers that
Are you
cost
going to
me-
like bring some of your stuff?
You know, I've debated what to
Like, are you going
what
to
to
bring
wear.
your lightsaber?
So here's the deal. I have a very, very good Jedi tunic with every single piece of it that I wore for Halloween, right? Cost me more than most things would cost. So I could wear that. I could fully dress up like a Jedi, but it's like, do I want to sit in that for 24 hours? Maybe.
No.
It's very comfortable.
Or
It
is
is
it hot?
honestly, it's a little hot.
Yeah.
That's my reservation. I also have a full-blown, probably $2,000 Darth Vader suit. The only issue with that, I didn't buy it, by the way. I got it for free. Okay. Because that's a lot of money. And that's the helmet for it. The only issue is that it was made for somebody who's about 6'5". So when I put it on, I look like a kid wearing his dad's clothes. I will try to find a picture
Yes,
and
please.
show you. It's very
if not,
funny.
just put it on.
It's really
and then
funny.
take a picture.
I could. I don't know where. Actually, I think it's in my storage closet. Or I could wear one of my Star Wars shirts. I basically have this Star Wars shirt or a shirt that has Obi-Wan Kenobi on it and just says hello there. Those are my options. I probably will go with a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'll go try to find a new t-shirt. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
They should make a shirt with Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, and it says "Hello, darkness, my old friend."
That is really funny. Actually, I would love that.
Shirt idea.
Maybe I'll make that shirt idea. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to see Phantom Menace.
Okay.
So
Cool.
sorry.
Good for you. That's fine. That's fine. You're just stupid.
My theater watching is limited. I'm not going to waste it on Phantom
That's true.
Menace.
That's true. You can't see anything anyway. Oh. We got to go see Fall Guy now.
Yeah,
Soon.
we should see that.
We should.
It's out. Is it out this weekend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think it's out tomorrow. All right.
Maybe a Tuesday.
Maybe a Tuesday.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Or a Monday
Okay.
at Fat Cats.
All right. Monday's $5 at Fat Cats?
If you have the membership.
How much is the membership?
I don't remember. But I was thinking of buying it the last time.
Okay. I'll look it up
Okay.
because that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
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 It's you again.
Is that it? It's
Yeah.
definitely me. All right. How Star Warsy can I make this? Thank you for listening to today's Star Warsy episode of R2D2 Ewoks. Our commanders. Oh my gosh. Sorry. R2D2 Ewoks
I'm out.
Anakin commanders. Tarkin is orange. No.
Obi-Wan. Tarkin is Obi-Wan.
Tarkin is Obi-Wan.
I feel like I know more Star Wars than you do.
No. Oh my gosh, this is really hard when you're really trying to think of things. Tyrannus.
What's the new guy? The new enemy in Ahsoka? What was his name?
Balin.
No. The blue guy.
Ah, him. Why can't I think of his name?
Yeah. Doesn't it start with a T?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thrawn.
Thrawn. There you go.
Thrawn. What is the... You guys, this is a lot of pressure.
My gosh, you're so bad.
Thrawn ion cannon. It's from an old Star Wars video game. Making love.
Mace Windu.
You're so good at this. What is happening? I'm starting over.
Okay.
Boom. What was my first thing?
I don't remember. R2D2.
R2D2 Ewoks Anakin. Chancellor Palpatine. Thrawn. Ions Obi-Wan. Necromancer. Thrawn.
No, you're used Thrawn.
Oh,
It was
Tarkin.
Tarkin. You used Ion already.
is Mace Windu. And Empire Strikes Back. You guys, this is very hard. I don't know why my brain doesn't work when I do. This is really bad. I'm unproud of myself.
Boo.
I'm not even ashamed. I'm just unproud.
Dude, I thought of like half of your stuff.
You actually did, at least half. And I'm sorry. All right, join us next week for a new movie, which we haven't done in so long, but we're going to do Fall Guy.
We're gonna
make it happen.
Do Fall Guy. Yeah.
Oh, I pulled that out on accident. That sounds weird.
Yeah, it does.
It'll still record fine.
Weird.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Subscribe to all of our things and look us up on YouTube. We're about to do the best Marvel tournament you've ever seen in your entire life. Happy Star Wars Day. And may the Force be with you.
Always.
That was nice. Bye.
That's not how the Force works.
That's not